So today we are speaking to Janine, and she is 18 years old from California. Now she decided, or basically realized, that because of her life circumstances, her family circumstances, she needed to make money. Now she didn't have budget to join Agency Accelerator at the time. So when she saw Digital Launchpad come up for just $37 a month, she was like, okay, I need to jump into this. Now she jumped into it, and fast forward 6 months, she went through the six-figure sales rep program, started making $3,000 a month as an appointment setter. She since then joined Agency Accelerator, and now she's fast on her way to making $10,000 a month. So let's hear her story.
Janine, how are you doing?
I am doing great. How are you?
Thank you. I'm really good. Really good. Thank you very much. And thank you for joining me. Before we go into your DL journey, where you're at now, etc., etc., do you want to just give me a little bit of a background of how old you are, where you're based, etc., etc.?
Yeah. So I'm 18 years old. I turned 18 back in February, which is around the same time that I actually joined DL.
Nice.
Right now, I'm currently based in California, but I was born in the Philippines. And before DL, I was in my last year of high school. So here in the US, it's called senior year of high school. And I guess it was around that time as well where I really started to take this online, entrepreneurship journey more seriously. Because before I used to just watch videos on YouTube like everybody else does, but not really do anything about it, right?
Yeah.
But there's really this moment that happened to me when I realized that, I have to take this seriously. And that was when I was looking around really at where I was in terms of my family, our position and where we were. And I really realized that this is not where I want to be in the next 5 years. And this is not the kind of life that I want to live.
That's so interesting. Honestly, I speak to you, I speak to other students in DL, and just that awareness to be in your last year of school, college, and to have them level of thoughts and responsibility that I need to do something for my family, I need to take care, I need to be the breadwinner. I find it unreal, man, because growing up for me, I think that realization happened a lot later. I think that's one thing the online space has taught people, that you can now actually, because see, back in the day, taking care of your family meant having to go out, maybe go to a different city, in some instances, go to a different country and make money. Like, for example, my parents came from Pakistan and they came here. I'm sure your family, there's some history similar there, leaving home. But now you can literally, if you get the right skills and you get the right community, which we're going to come on to in a minute, you can actually be at home with your family, around your parents, around your whoever it might be, with your laptop and internet connection, and literally change your life, which
exactly,
you're well on the way to doing that. So you made that decision, online space, want to do this, want to go into it for the family, etc., etc. What were the first steps then? Did you have any idea of what you wanted to go into?
Well, I think because I watched a lot of Iman videos back then. I know the agency thing was very natural for me to kind of pursue. I also started reading these kinds of self-improvement books, Think and Grow Rich, Atomic Habits, everything like that.
Yeah.
And there's this one activity in Think and Grow Rich where we were supposed to write down our goal, exactly how much money we wanted to make, etc. Right? So I wrote that down last year. I remember it was October 3rd. So it's been a year now, right? And I continue to write that goal literally every morning and every evening. I still do that to this day. It keeps me focused. It keeps me focused as to I know what I need to do. I just need to do it. So back then it was okay, I would get a job and then I'd use that money to buy Agency Accelerator. But back then it was Agency Navigator, right? When I was Agency Accelerator. And I followed that goal. And the goal was to make 10K. I still haven't made it, but it's a process.
You'll get there. Yeah,
right?
You'll get there.
I remember I would go out in front of my sister's school and I would sell candies and all those kinds of things to, earn money to get into Agency Navigator. And then February of 2024 comes, and that was when Iman, kind of a soft launch of DL.
Yeah.
Where it was through email and then you were invited. So I was this is a really good opportunity for me to hop on. I mean, it's only $37, right? So
yeah. And it was made especially for people who were in your process. You're actually the best example of it. And we'll get onto that a little bit because you've now graduated into Agency Accelerator. So you've made that journey. But that's exactly why DL was created, to help people take that first step. So you obviously saw it, but you must have been a moment $37? This is crazy. So you obviously took the leap, jumped in. What did you think when you came in? What were your hopes? What were your ambitions?
My hopes were to, just get introduced really into the online world and really make my first $1,000 online. I remember reading that email for DL and I was like, wait, is it a typo? Because it said make your first 1K. But I was like, isn't it usually make your first 10K? So, that made me want to click and then check it out. And then I remember joining. It was a very interesting experience because obviously before then I've never really joined any of these kinds of online programs. And back then there weren't that many programs as there are now. Like there was Pen to Profit, six-figure sales rep, and then the ecom course.
Which ones did you do when you came in?
I originally started off with Pen to Profit. Right, I did that for a month and then I moved on to sales because I thought, I kind of have a passion for sales. It's very nice to be able to talk to someone like one-on-one, kind of like what we're doing, but to really help them make a decision that needs to be made.
Yeah, amazing. So you did the sales program. This was like your first entry into the online world. So there was nothing prior. So you've come in.
Yeah.
How did you find six-figure sales rep? Because I know for a fact the coaching in DL for sales is unbelievable. Scott, I'm sure you've been on many a call with Scott, right? He's obviously our sales manager at Educate. He runs all the sales teams. So we actually give you access in DL to actually his level of coaching, which is unbelievable. So how have you found that combination of the program and then Scott's coaching? How has that all been for you?
Yeah, it really complements each other. The program, Six Figure Sales Rep itself, is more of like fundamentals, just gives you an idea of what sales is. And then once you actually hop onto these coaching calls, you get to ask Scott, you get to ask these coaches personal questions that are really tailored to your situation. And on those calls as well, you're introduced to other people who are also on the same journey as you, right?
Very
so you get
important.
to connect with them as well.
Yeah.
And that's really important.
Definitely. So what have you done after that? Because you've gone into a role now, right? An appointment setting role. Tell me how that came about.
Yeah, I guess it was when I was attending the coaching calls. And then there's like this specific step, after you've watched the program, you've practiced their mock calls and everything like that. That's when you could like start outreaching. So that's what I did. I did that for around like 2 weeks and then I landed my first offer. Honestly, your first offer doesn't need to be anything crazy. I mean, you just have to get your foot in the door. So that's what I did. It was only like 1K a month, which I mean, to get from 0 to 1K a month is like really
No
big
joke.
thing.
Yeah, it's no joke.
Yeah.
And where are you at now? Because you're not at 1K anymore. You're up to? What's the current situation? Have you been doing that for a couple of months now, or?
Yeah, so I started setting back in May. I did that for a couple of months and then I left. And then obviously I could always go into another setting job, but what I decided to do was, since now I'm an agency accelerator, I left that job last month and now I'm just focusing on my agency 100%, trying to work on getting my first client.
So you've actually generated though around about 3K from your inbound position that you had previously, right? So just to put that into context, October last year, you wrote down that you wanted to make 10K a month. Part of that master plan was getting into Agency Accelerator. You didn't have the funds at the time to do that. You spent whatever, $37 or whatever it was to get into DL. You've done Pen to Profit. You moved into sales. You've got an appointment setting role. You've made 3K, which is no joke, for your first online venture.
Yeah.
You've managed to pay for Agency Accelerator, and now you're at the next stage of moving on to that 10K. That's unbelievable, Janine. Like, have you taken a moment to sit and reflect on that? You should be super, super proud of yourself. You've literally started from zero. Candy outside school, right? Which I love a story like that. And sales is one of them skills you need it in every aspect of life. Everywhere, every interaction, basically. And you've now not only got yourself a background in appointment setting and sales and all that, you're ready now. Once you pick up the core agency skills, it's rock and roll time for you, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's the plan.
Amazing. And I'm super excited to see how that plays out. Going into something you touched upon there, which is very important and something that's very close to me, because I love how people come together in these communities and connect. Now, obviously, it's your first community. How have you found the community experience? How have you found, obviously, I run calls every now and again, quite late sometimes when everybody's awake. But how have you found the whole experience of meeting people in DL?
I think community, especially in DL, is one of the most important things, if not the most important things to have. When you're starting off in your entrepreneurship journey, it gets really lonely. And I know Iman said this as well, right? So having people that are on the same path as you can support you and you support them. If they have questions they can ask you, the other way around as well, right? So I really appreciate that, you can get lifelong friends from
Yeah.
DL because you guys are going through the exact same thing. Like you haven't really made anything of yourself, but you guys are getting there. So these are the people you're going to be with even before success, on your way to success, and like when you're already successful.
Yeah, I think that's that arc, that journey, it's so important. You know, I'm in communities where there's people doing 6 figures a month, right? Really unbelievable. And it's the same, different levels, different devils, right?
Yep.
Like whether you're trying to make your first 1,000, you're trying to make your first 10,000, you're trying to make your first million a month, whatever it is, you always need people around you who are on that journey, who are going to hold you accountable, or who maybe have already achieved that level of success. That's the beauty with Digital Launchpad as well, right? Here you are now setting off on this journey, doing phenomenally well for what? It's been a year and you're already like on the way. But you get access to Iman. You get access to the monthly call with him. You get to listen to somebody you've watched growing up take the journey you're taking. You get access to all these coaches and mentors. So I'm just delighted. I didn't actually fully know your story before coming onto this. I'm smiling because I'm so happy that you've taken that chance and you've actually smashed it so far. And I cannot wait to see what the future holds for you. Before we wrap up and sort of come towards the end, I often ask this to people like, you know, you've been through this now. If somebody was to ask you, shall I join Digital Launchpad, Janine? What do you think? Is it worth it? How has it been for you? What would you answer that person?
I would say 100%. I mean, really, especially as you're getting started, a lot of people don't know where to get started, right? But if you're surrounded by people who are on the same path as you, and you also have access to like hours upon hours and hours content that can help you, you know, learn the valuable skills that you need to become someone who's valuable to the markets. That's really going to accelerate your path and really get you going instead of, you know, just sitting there, possibly like watching YouTube videos or something like that, but not really doing anything. Like you have to take action or nothing is going to happen.
Yeah. And the thing is, all the people I speak to, all the student interviews I do, you know, these are just action takers. People who do write down their goals, their why is very strong. You know, they're driven. Success is the only option. And if you put your head down and follow the path that we give you, follow the education we give you, follow the coaching we give you, you're going to make at least, honestly, I've said this before. I was saying to Iman, like, I'm going to change this soon, by the way, because it doesn't fit anymore. Make your first $1,000 online. People are doing like 5-6 times that once they come in and follow everything. So yeah, amazing. Janine, thank you once again. I am going to do this again with you soon in probably 6 months to a year's time. I'm very curious to see how you take that next step into agency. As per usual, we're all here for you to help you and support you, but well done. Always take a moment to reflect on how far you've come because it's a phenomenal achievement.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye-bye.